Welcome everyone, Dylan Gemelli here today with a brand new video for you, and today I have a topic I have been dying to address. We are going to talk about the 500 milligrams of testosterone myth. But before we get into that, just a big shout out and thank you to everybody out there supporting, watching, commenting, subbing, sharing. I can't thank you enough. The support and the loyalty just means the world to me. And I stress the word loyalty because I see how many of you are loyal to me, and it is absolutely amazing. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. Please click the like button. It goes a million miles to help the channel regrow, which we are doing at a rapid rate. So let's talk about this myth that if you don't run 500 milligrams of testosterone, you're just not going to make any gains and you don't know what you're doing. And if you don't follow that, you are like, in my view, here's what I get from people. Well, Gemelli, that's why you're not big, because you won't run that much testosterone. Da, 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 da. That's the argument. Or, Gemelli, you don't know what you're talking about. And what do I say to that? Well, that's fine. I'm not going to argue back. I'm not going to throw stones and call people names and anything childish. I will just give you the facts. The facts are simple. You don't need that much testosterone to grow. Now, the higher that you go up on your testosterone dosing, does that mean that you'll get more size? More than likely, yes. I can't see you not, unless you're just one of those anomalies or you have bad product, low quality. But aside from that, sure you will. But at what cost? What comes with that? A higher rate of estrogen conversion, for sure. Some people aren't as estrogen prone as others, but then that's more issues of you having water weight, not to mention more than likely higher blood pressure. There's a slew of side effects that come with elevated testosterone. And then let's say you do get it under control with an aromatase inhibitor. Well, you're having to learn and see how your body responds and change dosing and all of that. But besides that, the level of side effects only gets higher the higher that you dose it. So you always weigh out risk versus reward when you're deciding anything in life, really. But in the steroid world, the risk versus the reward. Well, my reward is going to be this. I'm going to gain X amount of size, X amount of strength. But at what cost? So if I'm running 300 to 400 milligrams of test, I'm still going to get size. I'm still going to get strength, an excellent amount. Maybe not to the extent of 500 to 750 milligrams, or even obviously a gram, but I'm going to cut out and mitigate so many of the side effects. Now, what else about the side effects that I've stressed? Well, one, I think is fairly obvious. You're going to have a better quality of life with the less stress that you're putting on your body. Two, the more strain and the more stress that you put on yourself and the higher the dosing, you may think in the moment that you're winning, but you're not thinking long term. You're actually shaving years off your life by elevating your testosterone levels too high and causing undue and unnecessary stress internally. You might get away with it a few times and you might think you're just fine. Oh, my blood works fine. I hear this all the time. Oh, my blood works fine. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Everything's cool. But that doesn't tell me anything 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 years down the road. That's why you see all of these bodybuilders that die young. And it happened to the wrestlers for many years in like WWF and NWA. That's why you see so many people that get older that were using steroids and they have so many physical problems and their bodies break down because they put so much overload on them. They've grown too fast. They've gotten too big. These are things that meatheads and people that get caught in the moment don't think about. When I teach and I coach, I teach so that you're able to improve quality of life as well. Using performance-enhancing drugs is supposed to be a positive experience. You're supposed to feel on top of the world, not slewed out with side effects to where you can barely even get yourself into the gym, and that your attitudes and your moods are changing so much because you're throwing so many different types of hormones in your body, and it's just causing you just craziness all throughout, and your body's not knowing how to handle it. So these are things that we've got to keep in mind. You do not have to dose your testosterone that high. Even if you're running testosterone alone, Now, especially if you're stacking it with things, testosterone, I believe, and people will argue this, and that's fine, because as I've gotten older, I see both sides of the spectrum, but to me, test needs to be the base and the backbone of any cycle that you run. You don't see me recommend oral-only steroid cycles. If somebody needs help with one, I used to just say, no, I'm not going to do it, but there is a little bit of benefit that I see there and validity. It's just not going to be to the extent that you would with testosterone. But hey, if that's what you want to do, I'm okay with it. I just want to stress every time that I'm advising that it's not the best way. But I'll help you for sure. Because there is some value there, and you could do like an oral with SARMs, but it's always going to be a better overall experience for you if you're using testosterone. But that's off topic. My point here is with the dosing. A little bit goes a long way. Now, you don't want to go too low, all right? You don't want to run TRT doses and expect the world out of it, but you're still going to notice it, but certainly not to the extent you would at a higher dose, and I'm not here to argue that at all. But my stress to you and everybody out there is not to fall into this trap that you absolutely have to run it that high, because it's just not true, man. It's not. I don't get any benefit out of telling you to run more or less. I mean, what the hell? I'm just trying to teach people how to go about this in a more efficient, safer, and honestly more effective way, because listen, the more suppression you have, the more stress and strain that you throw on your body, it's going to be a longer recovery. And what does that mean? A longer recovery is going to mean it's going to be much more difficult for you to keep the gains that you made on cycle. If you keep the stress and strain and the side effects low, your recovery is going to be a lot easier, and it's going to render it a lot more easy for you to keep more gains. So in the end, even if you do gain a lot more on 750 milligrams of testosterone and don't keep a fraction of it, and you run a lower dose, put less strain on yourself, and end up better off than the person, and this is in the long run, maybe not in the moment, but in the long run, you end off better and you're in better health and condition. So, I mean, for me, I don't know, call me crazy, but I'd rather go with option 2 and run less testosterone. And hey, maybe I'm a fucking dumbass. I don't know. But to me, that seems more logical. And hey, to each your own. I'm not your dad. I'm not telling you what you can and cannot do. I'm just trying to guide you into the right way, the way that's going to be good for you long term, and the way that you're honestly going to get the most out of your cycle and feel like you actually didn't waste your time. Because there's a lot that goes into us aside from the stress and the strain. There's the financial side, obviously the time that you're investing. You're having to, change different things that you do, routines, develop this, develop that. There's a lot that goes into that, man, and you don't want to waste that time. I mean, I don't think you do. I don't know. To me, time, and maybe it's because I'm getting older, but time is the most valuable thing that there is. Because you can't get it back. You can't buy it back. So I would stress to you to utilize that time and take care of yourself so that the time is more valuable to you and means more, and you get to enjoy it more. I'm all about efficiency, precision, and routine, and also about keeping up with your health and realizing and valuing all of these aspects of life, and it's going to get you a lot further just in general, and you're just going to have a better overall quality and method of living. So that's all I'm trying to teach. I'm not trying to be Mr. Conservative with my dosing and throw you on the wrong path. I think that I basically and essentially broke down exactly what some people tend to call me out for, and that's, dosing too low, and I wouldn't know because I'm not big enough to know. Look, I've coached athletes that are 400 pounders, bodybuilders, Mr. Olympia bodybuilders. I coach all those guys and teach them how to bulk properly. So me not being 500 pounds doesn't mean I don't know how to bulk. So regardless, to each their own. You follow the path you want to follow. I'm only simply here to give you my humble opinion on how to go about these things. So that being said, that is the 500 milligram testosterone myth. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope I provided some insight and hopefully a little bit of entertainment. I know you guys always write about I'm not your dad comments, and I'm always going to throw those in. I can't help it. So anyway, Everybody take care. Thank you for the support. Dylan Gemelli, signing off.